and welcome to another episode of System Shock Radio. I, as always, am your host Nigel, and today we are going to get right into it. Got hopefully a pretty interesting episode for you guys. Without further ado, let's get right into it. Really quick shout out to my brother and his now wife. They just got married yesterday, so shouts out to them. Let's get into our first topic. Got a few for you guys. So, the first is let's talk about all the hate that Aquaman gets. Now, this isn't necessarily about the movie or the DC movies. This is about the character. And man, as I've gone up and down social media and message boards and in the public eye, Aquaman gets a bad rep for reasons I won't say totally unknown, but I know, but I don't know at the same time. They'll say stuff like, "Oh, his powers are so lame. He can talk to fish, he can just talk to fish, and he can swim. Whoop de doo." But people need to realize Aquaman has a lot more powers than that. Yes, he can communicate with fish, and yes, he can swim, but he can also control the tidal wave, so he can cause a raging sea to crash up and destroy stuff if he wants. He can communicate, I should say, with all kinds of sea creatures, which includes the likes of sharks and whales and other scary stuff that lives within the ocean. He's of course got the trident, and he's able to speak any language. He can summon lightning. He's got super strength and superhuman durability like Superman. And so Aquaman, he's pretty cool. Now, is he my favorite superhero? No, not necessarily, but he gets a bad rap, and it's not totally fair because he can do a lot, and people just say, "Oh, he talks to fish," but it's once you reach below the surface, no pun intended, and actually read up on him, he's actually kind of a cool character in that regards. Now, granted, he is kind of copying Namor the Submariner, which, believe it or not, a lot of people say, "Oh, Namor the Submariner is copying Aquaman." Thing is, Namor the Submariner actually came out first in 1939, and yeah, they are pretty similar in a lot of regards, except Namor, some would say, is a little more aggressive, but still, man. And hashtag stop the Aquaman hate, the character. Anyway, how you feel about the movie is, yeah, how you feel about the movie, but stop the Aquaman hate. Hashtag stop the Aquaman hate, man. But, next up, speaking of hate, I know I am pretty late when I talk about this, because this has been happening for a few months now, but YouTube, if you've noticed, YouTube has removed the dislike button. So, well, I shouldn't say dislike button. Thing is, you can still dislike a video, but now it won't be visible when you watch a video. If you watch a video and you look at the likes and dislikes tab part of the video, you can only see the likes and you cannot see the dislikes. Why is this the case? Reasons have conflicted. YouTube's thing, and what YouTube is saying about it, is that it doesn't want the hate to be visible, and it doesn't want the creators to feel bad. But here's the thing. And yeah, some videos are going to have like some dislikes on them. Almost every video has at least some level of dislike. Somebody just dislike it, sometimes just because they feel like it, and just because they want to. Ooh, in fact, one of my videos has a dislike. The O.J. Simpson trial video. I'm pretty sure I can guess who it was from. But if you haven't watched that, go check that out. But yeah. So YouTube removing the dislike button, making it not visible to the audience watching the video like normal. Of course, the YouTube content creator can still see the amount of dislikes on the video, but the audience can't see it. The thing is that feels like concealing, at least in my opinion. It feels like it's pretty much just hiding it. Like, no, this video doesn't have any dislikes. There's no hate. And sometimes, if there is a lot of dislikes on a video, if the like to dislike ratio, it favors the dislike side more, that means there's something wrong. There's something amiss. Something that people don't like. Hey, and the thing is, if there's a lot of dislikes on a video, yeah, it could deter people from the video, and I'll give YouTube that. But at the same time, it kind of feels like it's taking the edge off. It's saying no, 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 no. It's okay. There's no dislikes. Dislikes don't exist. There's no such thing as feedback or criticism or anything like that. No, they don't exist. They're not there. And that, I think, is not right. And a lot of people feel the same way. They found it annoying that YouTube has removed the dislike option. Literally, when you dislike the video, it'll just say, hey, thanks, your feedback has been shared with the creator. Even though some of the content creators on YouTube said they couldn't see the dislikes either. So I'm not sure, but I feel like YouTube dislikes being visible, it isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's a way to improve. And so I get YouTube tried to rectify this by saying, oh, the creator can see that, but not the viewers. But yeah, it's still kind of weird. I don't know. Maybe I'm alone on that. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think about it. But next, we're gonna talk about Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. So, oh, this is not the Modern Warfare 2 that came out back in the day, back when uh, they did the Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. Now, this is another Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. You'd think they probably call it something else because there already is a Modern Warfare 2, but no, oh, this one's also going to be called Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. It releases later on this year. It's going to be a sequel to the Call of Duty Modern Warfare game that came out in 2019. So the reboot of Modern Warfare, and I'm pretty interested in this one because it looks like Task Force 141, the gang is getting back together. So that's like Captain Price, and then John Soap McTavish, and then Simon Ghost Riley, and then Gaz is there as well. So looks like the gang is going to be all back together, and perhaps a new incarnation, a new story unfolding within Modern Warfare 2. So I kind of want to see where this goes. And the first one, I thought the story for the first Call of Duty Modern Warfare game was pretty interesting and everything. So hopefully this one continues that and improves upon it and all that stuff. And hopefully they make it interesting. I want to see how they continue the story, because the story was pretty interesting and pretty cool for Modern Warfare. And um, hopefully Captain Price is just as big of a character as he was in the first game. And the thing is, I didn't grow up playing Call of Duty. Well, at least not like the M for Mature ones. I played like the old school ones on PS2 when it was still T for Teen, and that's like the old Call of Duty games. So I had no idea who any of these people were, especially Captain Price. But be that as it may, by the time I got around to playing M for Mature games and played the 2019 Modern Warfare, I do have Modern Warfare Remastered for PS4, which is a remaster of the first game, and I do want to play that. I might save it for when I do live streaming on Twitch, which I do from time to time. Um, but be that as it may, when I still played the 2019 one, I still felt Price was a really cool character to see. So to see that he's always been this cool is pretty interesting, and I want to see where this Modern Warfare 2 goes and everything. So, yeah, it's gonna be pretty cool. I want to see what's going on. I imagine there's probably gonna be some stuff brought back from the original Modern Warfare series. So, old characters that they reference, like Makarov or General Shepard, and I want to see what they do with it. So I'm interested. I'm excited. So the next one is Money in the Bank. Yes, it is that time of year. Time for the Money in the Bank ladder match. I'm a huge fan. Well, I'm a huge fan of ladder matches in general, but Money in the Bank has always been pretty interesting, which is why, as part of my wrestling reviews, I want to do every Money in the Bank. I'm gonna watch every Money in the Bank at some point. And speaking of which, I just dropped my latest wrestling review, which is Rey Mysterio versus Eddie Guerrero at Halloween Havoc 1997, WCW Halloween Havoc 1997. So If you haven't already, go check out my review and check out that match because, spoiler alert, it was a really great match. But yeah, so the Money in the Bank is another one of my favorite match types. It's 6 people, or sometimes 8 people, or sometimes less, depending on if someone's taken out or whatever. Someone's gonna climb the ladder, retrieve the briefcase, cash it in, and possibly have a world title shot. Now, we've seen in the past where the world title didn't change hands after the cash in, and I believe it's been like a failed cash in, at least on the men's side. The women's side, because they've had a women's Money in the Bank, they haven't had a failed cash in yet. But the men's failed cash in has been they failed, I think, like 3 or 4 times, if I'm not mistaken. There was John Cena, who won in 2012 and tried to cash in but lost, well, won, I should say, by DQ, but didn't win the title, which I touched on in my No Way Out 2008 review. Go check that out too, where the title really should change hands on a disqualification. And at least in my opinion, I know it's been like that for years, and wrestling tradition is like, no, oh, it's always been like this. Don't go against tradition, but it honestly should. But there was John Cena. There was Damian Sandow when he cashed in on John Cena. There was Baron Corbin, who cashed in on Jinder Mahal, but John Cena got involved. The first 3 failed cash-ins involved John Cena in some way, shape, or form. There was him cashing in, him being cashed in on, and then him distracting Baron Corbin and causing Baron Corbin to lose the cash-in. And then there was Braun Strowman, which that one ended in no contest. Oh joy! But yeah, he has made the Money in the Bank still really exciting. As a reminder, last year's winners were her Big E and Nikki ASH. So I want to see who wins this year. And what's weird is the women's Money in the Bank. They literally do not wait long before cashing in. The only one who really held on to it was Carmella. She held on to it for a while before cashing in. And it's like, ladies, I get maybe you want to cash in right away and win, and they won, but you can wait a few days, right? You don't have to cash it in that night. You got a whole year. And which, of course, Brock Lesnar can tell us because of that funny segment with him and Paul Heyman on Raw, where Brock was like, I got a year to cash this in, and Paul was like, yeah, didn't you know? And I was like, no, I didn't know. But yeah, so Money in the Bank, I'm really excited to see who wins this year. It'll be pretty interesting, and I don't really have any predictions down packed set in stone because it is kind of unpredictable and it is kind of everyone's game in a way. Hey, if I did have to make some predictions, I feel like for the women, it'd probably be someone who's like up and coming or someone who hasn't held it yet. Probably either Rhea Ripley or Liv Morgan. Not only because they've been feuding, but because they've been like pretty prominently featured when it comes to like the women and everything. And then for the men's side, I might go with there's quite a few. I was gonna say Cody Rhodes, but unfortunately he's out with the torn pectoral muscle, which he tore right before Hell in the Cell, and of course we saw the gruesome injury. And he still wrestled with it. So again, all the props in the world to Cody for that. But there's him, but he's out. Kevin Owens, I'd like to see win. It'd be cool to see him not just win, but be world champion again. AJ Styles, which I think I maintain that he might have supposed to have been the one to win in 2020, but it ended up going to Otis. Whether that was an accident or not, that's up to debate. But it'd be cool to see him with it. Damian Priest, I'd like to see him hold on to it. So there's a lot. Ezekiel, they gave it to Otis. They might as well give it to Ezekiel. Elias's younger brother. So it'll be interesting to see who wins this year and what they do with it. And hopefully they have a nice reign with the title, which unfortunately hasn't been the case for a lot of cash-ins, especially last year with Big E. Like, his title run was so disappointing. really made me sad, and especially because he like earned it. It was waited so long for him to win the big one, and then it was kind of like not a great championship run, which sucked. But be that as may, there's that. And then finally, I have a quote here that I want to talk about. Now, and this is a quote I'm sure you've heard a lot of times, and I want to break down what it means and kind of how I would explain it. And that's be the change you want to see. Now, I've put this on rated N, which details on that are going to come at a later date. Actually, I'll tell you about it later on in the video and everything. But be the change you want to see. What exactly does that mean? Does it really mean anything? It means something. And for me, be the change you want to see means if you want to see improvements in your life, in the world around you, and you want to see change happening in the world around you, it starts with an internal change. And think about how you view yourself and how you perceive things, and then go from there. If you remember the song "Man in the Mirror" by Michael Jackson, if you want to make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and then make a change. And I think that definitely personifies this as well. Help making that change within yourself, trying to make the world a better place, and um, sometimes it does pan out, and sometimes you can see improvements, and sometimes long term, sometimes short terms in your life and everything, or in your lifetime. And but even in the case, it may not impact you; it may impact someone else. Your actions, your change in yourself might impact someone else, and it could inspire them to want to change as well. So it's kind of twofold in that regard, and I think being that change, it allows you to step back and reflect on yourself and say, you know what, this is what I'm doing. What can I do differently? What can I do to improve? And what can I do to change if that's what you want? If you're fine the way you are, then that's that. But if you do want to change, be that change and embody that change, and you may see it evolve into something in your life and someone else's life, and you could see it grow, possibly. But ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for this episode. Thank you all so much for watching. If this is your first time watching System Shock Radio, I hope you enjoyed. But if you're a returning viewer, I hope you enjoyed as well. And I am going to be streaming Spyro 2 at some point. I do not have the PlayStation camera yet. But let me know in the comments below, do you want to see my facial reactions for Spyro 2, or do you want me to hold out? Now, when I do stream Detroit Become Human, which shout out to Steve, aka PlaxDB, he definitely recommended it. He wanted to see me play Detroit Become Human, so that's exactly what I'm going to do at some point. So I definitely want the camera for that, and for when I do other Twitch streams. But it probably wouldn't be as interesting for Spyro 2, so it's somehow to where I can do either or for Spyro 2. So if you want to see me live stream Spyro 2 with facial reactions and everything, seeing my live reactions in real time and everything, then let me know. If you don't mind that I don't win, it's just the gameplay, hey, without my face or voice or anything, similar to what we did for Spyro 1. Also let me know, and honestly I'm down to do either. It's up to what you guys want to see. But thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you guys later. Peace.